Hello there, I'm Rafael Di Furia here on behalf of Marco Permunian and his team over at ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Right now I'm introducing this video just on my own here, but don't worry, Marco will be in this episode in just a moment. But just to introduce this episode, to give you an idea of what's going on, we are going to be talking about the Italian investment visa that is available for individuals who are interested in making Italy their home, kind of like a golden visa of sorts. So anyway, rather than my talking about it, let's let Marco just get straight into it. This is the Italian Real Estate Podcast, here to help you with the ins and outs and basics of Italian real estate, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Please note that while the following episode is on the topic of investment, the following information should not be taken as investment advice. And if you are seeking information specifically regarding your investments in Italy, be sure to contact Marco and his team at ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. I think the first thing that we should talk about is who is this visa for and why does it exist even to begin with?
The investor visa was created by the Italian government with the budget law in 2017. And it's a visa meant for high net worth individuals who want to establish their residency in Italy and obtain residency in Italy through investment. Of course, the Italian government wants to give an incentive for foreign investors who want to have residency in Italy, because one of the reasons why this visa is appealing is that the approval process is meant to be very, very quick in comparison to the other visas that are available in Italy. More specifically, people who submit an application can expect an answer on whether or not they qualify for this type of visa within 30 days from the submission. Another reason why this visa is so appealing is that everything is done electronically through a website, the website of the Italian government, and there are no offices that you there aren't multiple offices that you have to deal with. So you deal exclusively with one office, the application is submitted online, and the result is given to you within 30 days. So it's a very quick approval process for an Italian visa.
And how is it that a person actually would be eligible? Like, what is it that they have to invest in? Because if it's called the investment visa, then I'm assuming they have specific parameters that a person has to fit within.
Absolutely. There are 4 categories of investments that people can make to qualify for this visa. So the first category would be investing on an Italian limited liability company, and the investment needs to be at least equal to 500,000 euros. The second option would be investing on a startup company. In this case, the investment is lower. It needs to be at least 250,000 euros. The third category would be investing on government bonds, and the amount of the investment in this case needs to be at least equal to 2 million euros. And the last category would be, as the Italian government puts it, you can make a philanthropic donation, you can support public interest in the fields of culture, education, immigration management, scientific research, preservation of cultural and natural heritage. So your investment needs to be in one of these 4 areas that we mentioned now, and not other types of investments. So the Italian government will only accept in order to grant you this visa an investment only in one of these categories.
And is it possible to mix between the categories, or how does that work?
So you can't invest in more than one category at the same time, but within the specific category, you can invest in different areas. For example, you can invest in multiple companies. It's not possible to mix the categories, but it may be possible within a specific category to invest in multiple areas. For example, if you are investing in a company or in a startup, you can invest in multiple companies. Unfortunately, you cannot combine investments in different categories.
Okay, so as long as you're staying within a category, it sounds like potentially there's room for multiple investments within that. I guess it makes sense also, especially because within each different category does have a different amount that's associated with it. But does the person already have to have made the investment prior to applying, or is this something that can come down the road?
No, the visa applicant doesn't necessarily have to make the investment prior to arriving in Italy. The investment can be made upon arrival in Italy as long as the investment is made within 3 months from your arrival in Italy. And of course, if you don't make the investment, your visa could be revoked or you may be unable to renew your visa. So it's very important that the investment is made within 3 months from your arrival in Italy.
And even, I guess, taking it a step even earlier in that process, how does a person even go about showing that they would be eligible for this process? What is that? What does that process look like, even maybe just roughly? And maybe we'll save a full in-depth for another episode.
So there is a preliminary screening that is done by this committee that we mentioned before. So you have to submit a number of documents to prove who you are, so your identity, where you reside, but also you have to provide documents related to the funds that you intend to use for the investment. And you have to be able to prove that the funds are fully available to you, that they're fully available to you now, so they're not locked up somewhere, so that you can use them now. They are in your name, and that the funds can be available to you shortly after your arrival in Italy to be able to make that investment.
So it's not something that you have to liquidate. It's something that you have to have the funds available to you.
Exactly.
So also even beyond that point, regarding the funds, is this something where, say, a person has investments in crypto, could that be used as proof of funds, or does it actually need to be held in a bank account in cash?
Unfortunately, there is no straight answer to that question, so it may be worthwhile to consider liquidating your assets to be able to show that your funds are available to make that investment.
And so what other pieces of the puzzle does a person need to have in place to be able to actually go ahead and make the application?
So as we said before, it is an accelerated program, so people can expect to be approved or denied for this visa fairly quickly, so within 30 days from the submission of their application, though they do have to apply for a visa after they got the Italian government call is certificate of no impediment, so a document stating that yes, you have the funds, you meet all the other requirements, so you are eligible for this visa. So after you get that, you have to still visit the Italian embassy, the Italian consulate that is closer to you, and file an application for the visa, though that process will be very quick because you got a pre-approval. And then upon arrival in Italy, you will be able to apply for a residency permit. Residency permit is something that under Italian law you have to apply for anytime you intend to stay in Italy. A residency permit is something that under Italian law you have to apply for upon arrival in Italy. It's just a formality because if you have a visa, that is what allows you to enter the country, you will get automatically approved for a residency permit, though you do have to apply for one through the local police office station. And the visa and the related residency permit which you obtained will be good for 2 years on the condition that you meet the requirements and that you keep meeting the requirements over time. So for example, if you if you made an investment on a company, if you take out your money, it is likely that you will lose the visa, that the visa will be revoked. So you have to keep meeting the requirements over the 2-year time frame. And the 2 years mark, you can apply for a renewal from within Italy, and you will get a renewal for 3 more years. So you can stay in Italy on this specific type of visa for a total of 5 years, after which you just become a long-term resident of Italy. So your ability to reside in Italy is no longer connected to having this visa. In other words, after 5 years, you get your long-term residency card that allows you to stay in the country long-term.
So theoretically, it sounds like you don't have to be invested for more than 5 years into one of these different categories, that you may be able to cash out, so to speak, after that period of time. And just moving on, one thing that I'm starting to think about and wanted to ask you about that I think some people may be wondering at this point is, what is the difference between the investor visa versus the other types of visas that people can get when they're thinking about coming to Italy?
One of the main reasons why I believe this visa is going to be very appealing for non-EU citizens, for those non-EU citizens who are high net worth individuals, is that along with this visa, you get huge tax benefits. Meaning that if you apply for this visa and you get approved and you move your residency in Italy, you will be able to apply for a special tax regime, and you will be paying basically only 100,000 euros per year, regardless of your income generated abroad. So if you have a huge income, a very large income, you end up paying only 100,000 euros to the Italian government in terms of taxation on your income. And if you have spouses, they can be added to this tax regime and they will be paying only 25,000 euros. So your spouse can actually also be included in this package and pay only 25 euros in terms of taxes, regardless, again, of their income.
Anyway, thank you all so very much for joining us for another episode of the Italian Real Estate Podcast, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Of course, if you are needing any help with purchasing property here in Italy, you can contact Marco and his team through ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Also, if you're interested in any content about life in Italy, living in Italy, and Italian dual citizenship, be sure to come over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rafael Di Furia, or my audio-only podcast, Not Your Average Globetrotter. Also, of course, if you want to hear more discussions like this about Italian real estate, be sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel or to the audio-only podcast. But I do have to say the benefit of being subscribed to the YouTube channel is that you are automatically also subscribed to the Italian Citizenship Podcast. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us again. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. We look forward to seeing you all next time. Later.